I play Call of Duty. As I'm making fun of you for playing shit FPS games.
What are you, 13?
Yes, I am. Actually, I'm 23! Do you want my social security number?
No, just your IP address.
That's fair. I played Modern Warfare 3, the 2022 reboot-ish version, which was originally designed as a DLC expansion for Modern Warfare 2, which came out in 21, I believe. So I talked about that a couple of months ago. No, was that a couple? No, that was like a year ago, actually. Holy fuck, it's been a while. Anyways, I talked about that. So the campaign continues on the story from Modern Warfare 2, which I seem to be in the minority on actually liking a good bit. It had a lot of technical problems, but in terms of its story structure and characters, I quite liked it. It wasn't mind-blowing, but the internet seemed to fucking hate it, and I kind of liked it. So, whatever. It kind of continues on that same tread. It retreads a lot of the original Modern Warfare 3's characters, kind of set pieces, and general plot outline in terms of now the big bad is Makarov, who's a big Russian ultranationalist. One of the members of Task Force 141 will die. All that. Ew! Why'd you touch my hand with your foot?
Spencer was talking with his hand, and I put my foot in his hand.
Ew! I'm Italian, not Quentin Tarantino.
I think you're part woman the way you talk with your hands.
Women are all Italian, don't you know?
No.
If they're not Jewish, they're Italian.
Or Latin.
That too. Fuck. It's another
Latina mommy.
No, you do.
I know I do.
Yeah, so the campaign follows Task Force 141 trying to defeat a underground Russian ultranationalist who some of the members of the squad have beef with from way back in the day, which we get flashbacks of and we get to play as. It's actually a very straightforward campaign, unlike 2, where despite the fact that the whole thing was about the missiles, it was actually kind of complicated in terms of like logistics. This one's pretty straightforward. There's some double crossery, backstabbery stuff, but it's pretty. We need to get this thing. Oh no, they got the thing. We should have a flashback here, and then oh no, we need to go to the place to get the thing, and then we got the thing, and then turns out the thing was fake or whatever. You get the point. It's a pretty straightforward Call of Duty campaign. The characters were a lot better this time around than Modern Warfare 2, aka the love of my life, Farah Kareem, is actually a character in this one. The main star of the first game returns here with I'd say, third primary character-ish. So pretty big role. Unlike 2, where she was a glorified cameo, which I fucking hate. So we primarily follow Soap, Farah, and Price, the popular ones, and then Ghost, Gaz, and what's her name? Overwatch lady, the blonde one, whatever.
The mean bitch.
Yeah, the mean bitch who I like. Play backup, basically. It's a pretty straightforward outlook. Makarov, I think, is actually pretty well handled here. He's pretty similar to his original Modern Warfare 3 counterpart. This may just be a taste difference, but I actually felt more like this one was a person. Makarov in Modern Warfare 3 is one of Call of Duty's like best villains, but also he is like the most mustache twirling like fascist on the planet. This one is also evil and stupid, but he also seems fairly intelligent, and I don't know, I think it might just be because of my like modern gamer brain. When the cutscenes look better, I can read more human emotions in them. The motion capture here is done pretty fucking well. The characterizations are a lot more honed in. Modern Warfare 2 had a lot of overlap between Soap, Gaz, and Ghost that kind of got messy. While their voice acting was all handled really well, they did kind of all tell the same jokes, and that kind of doesn't help. Here, they are obviously all still fairly comedic characters as a Call of Duty game, but they do feel like they have a lot more straightforward personalities, which I liked. Also, Farah, mommy, Senator Newman. So that's cool. Story, pretty good. It also follows up on the plot threads from Modern Warfare 2 of Shepard, being a big asshole and betraying Task Force 141 and Shadow Company, all that stuff, which is actually kind of a twist in this game. You didn't expect that. And then they're like, whoa, actually, these guys are involved. Which turns out was teased during not like the open beta, but they basically released, during Modern Warfare 2's follow-up live service cycle, they released a couple of raid missions that kind of teased where the third game would go. I didn't play those. That's neat. I wish they were in this game, because there are a couple of lines where I was like, I don't have context for this, and it's like, oh, it's part of the live service missions. Why isn't that in the main story? That's kind of dumb. So that is still frustrating because both 1 and 2 had that, where they'll continue the story for like another 10% in the live service, co-op missions or whatever, which I don't mind in theory. It just, there's a lot of the character introductions or reintroductions or recanonizations that they do in those that make the story a little bit more confusing. So I had to visit the wiki a couple times, which is annoying. It's not a huge problem. It just made me confused.
It's been a problem with the whole Modern Warfare series. It's like,
yeah, because
every time I log into it, it's got a new cinematic, and I have no idea what is actually happening because I haven't followed the live service bullshit.
Yeah, it is frustrating. I do think it is less frustrating this time around than in the second one. I don't know if that's because I've gotten used to it or if it's just better here. I don't know. I just didn't mind it as much. This campaign felt a lot more complete. It is still very fucking short. It's like 6 hours, so around the same as Modern Warfare 2 and Modern Warfare. I have a thing here, which I'm going to put a pin in for my conclusion. I think, not just because Modern Warfare 3 was designed to be a DLC, so they should have sold it as a DLC. I think if you put Modern Warfare 2 and Modern Warfare 3 together, the whole package, not just the stories, but the whole package, that would be a banger game. I'm going to come back to that. So campaign, pretty solid. The level designs are fine. The characters are all pretty good. The general appearance presentation is very similar to Modern Warfare and Modern Warfare 2. It still uses the Call of Duty infrastructure, which fucking sucks. It's less janky than Modern Warfare 2 was. I will admit that. I can say that because I've been playing Modern Warfare 2 right now. I'm still playing it right now. I've gone back.
Hardly.
It's enough for me. It's just enough. I've been going back to replay Modern Warfare 2 because I wanted to get up to prestige level before I uninstall it. And it is definitely less janky. It's a lot smoother. It does still crash very often if you're in the Call of Duty hub, if you're flipping between games and stuff. It happens all the time. And it's still a god ugly interface, but it does work a little bit better this time around. It's just really not ideal. And I think after Black Ops 6, which is going to be this year's game, I think that they need to like redo this whole, if they're going to do the infrastructure thing, which I don't like, I think it's a bad idea, but if they're going to keep doing it, I think that they need to start from scratch, and then everything moving forward from this point on, we're going to put the next 5 games on this, and they needed to design it for that, instead of right after Modern Warfare 2 came out, they're like, oh, we're going to actually add more stuff into this. And it's like, yeah, fuck you. It was really half-assed. Warzone is Warzone. Basically the same thoughts from both versions of Warzone and Warzone 2. I don't love it. I don't hate it. I didn't play very much of it, maybe 10 rounds. It is fine. It's just not really my thing. Battle Royale just isn't my thing, and I'm fine with that. It does work better than most other first-person shooter Battle Royales that I have played. Battlefield's version is garbage, for obvious reasons.
I mean, Apex is probably on top.
It is. I just don't like Apex, and I can't tell you why. I just don't. It doesn't jive with me. Yeah, I don't know. It's fine. It functions well enough. The infrastructure is definitely better than so it continues on Warzone 2, not like Warzone 2.0. It's not Warzone 3.0 now or whatever, but they did do a pretty big update to it. So it does seem a lot more stable, which is better. Most of the rounds I played, I was playing with my girlfriend's younger brother over Xbox Live just because that's what he wants to play. And that was all fine. It's just really not my jam. So I don't really have many thoughts on that. It's fine. It doesn't seem to detract from the package, which is better than Modern Warfare 2's. Modern Warfare 2 kind of dragged the package down. Multiplayer is broken up, like regular multiplayer is pretty well broken up into the current seasonal battle pass playlist. We have this goofy 8-bit big head mode or whatever new random update that they have going on. Those are pretty separate playlists, as well as your basic quick play. You can select the different types of matches that you want to play. So, team deathmatch, free-for-all, domination, whatever. And that all works a lot better this time around. The menus are still ugly as sin, but they do physically work faster, and that goes a long way, because holy fuck, Modern Warfare 2s were really slow. So if I have to stare at the shit for less time, I'm happier. It's pretty damn close to Modern Warfare 2 in pretty much all aspects, except it looks better. The general gist of it is that all of the weapons, maps, and skins carry over from Modern Warfare 2, again, because this was originally designed to be an expansion pack. So it carries over all of that stuff originally, but it does actually add in a lot of maps. I was pretty impressed when I actually looked at the number. Most of them don't get put in the rotation because they don't get voted on very often. But it has like 12 new maps, and that's not including the ones that they've added in the live service after launch. That's actually actually pretty impressive for COD. COD usually launches on the light side of maps, and especially if it's carrying over old maps and also remaking old maps, not great.
They're gonna make you buy it a couple more times.
Yeah,
usually.
And so that's been pretty nice. So it's a maybe 1/3 new maps, 1/3 remakes of old maps, and then 1/3 carries over from Modern Warfare 2, which obviously then includes its own remakes and redo whatever. It's a decent amount of stuff. The maps are all solid. I don't have any particular standouts. I have one standout. It is mostly from Modern Warfare 2, but they did update it and it plays better in Modern Warfare 3. I don't remember the map name, but it's one that's always played at night with laser sights, and it's fucking great.
The hangar one?
Yeah. That one is a lot better. The map is basically the same, but the architecture around it seems to work a lot better.
How did you feel about the open world levels?
I'll get to that.
Ugh! Okay. I thought you were wrapping up.
Nope, not yet. Progression in multiplayer, I do think, is a pretty well-polished version of what Modern Warfare and Modern Warfare 2, the new ones, did. The customization gunsmithing system is, I think, my favorite. It feels like there's a good amount of progression that goes into it, but also guns have a limited level. So you start off with like no accessories, no magazine changes, nothing, and every time you use your weapon, you get more XP, blah, blah, blah. You can cap out a weapon at its like 20 to 25 level count and get all the accessories outside of things you have to pay for in like 5 hours of multiplayer if you're only using the one weapon. It's not that bad. So I ended up maxing out over the course of just playing regular multiplayer, probably like 10 weapons, which is pretty cool. I'm actually very pleased with that. The customization is enough. I think it's a pick 5-ish, maybe 6. It's enough where it feels like I can actually customize my weapon, but it also doesn't mean if I jump in with iron sights and nothing else on it, it doesn't feel like the weapon's shit either. They're all pretty well balanced. Also, most of the weapons are carryovers from Modern Warfare 2, and then you have your usual half the game is limited edition, purchasable special weapons and crap, which are annoying, and they clog up the whole gunsmithing system, but they're fine. On the bright side of that, in the zombies mode, you can get a hold of those weapons, which is actually pretty fucking cool. So the zombies mode is a whole separate chunk of multiplayer. In this time around, it's an open world player cooperative experience, which is very different for Call of Duty. It's basically on a Warzone map. It's just one map. It's all of Urzikstan, so it's a butt ton of campaign and multiplayer levels that are all stitched together on one big thing. I think they might have actually made the zombies map first, although I believe it was made by a different studio. You know, they always subdivide each Call of Duty up into a bunch of their sub-studios, but it's one huge fucking map, and you can run around with various different weapons, collecting bounties, escorting things, escorting a tank, getting data off of like drilling machines or whatever, trying to protect a server. It's pretty straightforward stuff, but it is surprisingly fun. I actually spent more time in zombies than I did in multiplayer by a lot. It's pretty janky. I wish they put more time into it. The fact that it's only one map is understandable, yet still a little disappointing. I definitely get why they'd have that limitation, because they have to then kind of break up that infrastructure for the other modes. But it does get a little old after a while, even though the map does have a bunch of different areas in terms of difficulty and like terrain. It can get a little samey. You know, it is what it is. You have your usual, pack-a-punch, resurrection, whatever sort of power-ups. You collect scrap items and batteries and comic books and whatever to sell for money. You can get upgrades, so you can get more plates for your plate vest, bigger backpacks, stuff like that. And then if you successfully exfil after a level, so every round is like 45 minutes or so. If you successfully get to an exfil chopper, defend it, and get on it, when you go into the next round, you carry over all your shit, which is the point. So if you successfully exfil, I think it's 20 times is when you get like all the perks. So the point is to successfully get the fuck out, which is pretty cool. It actually makes it feel worth the investment. Inside of the zombies mode, there's a whole bunch of story stuff, but I don't get it. Not because of the typical zombies is too complicated, but because basically you get a mission, which is like kill 5 enemies with headshots and like loot this type of chest or whatever. And you can only do 1 per round or exfil. So there's a total of like 200 of them or something fucking absurd. I've only gotten through like 10 of them. Some of them are pretty specific. Some of them I just don't fully understand. Some of them are just kind of hard, which is fine. I don't know if my game is broken or something. It seems like there should be cutscenes for these, and there aren't. I don't know if it's a tech thing or if they just didn't make them, because this is where all the story is buried. There are like codex entries about these missions you can read, and there's no cutscenes. And I'm really fucking lost, because the mode includes new characters for this mode as announcers for, you should go here to get this thing, and characters from Modern Warfare. This apparently, could potentially take place a couple months after the campaign or whatever. I'd tell you, it just makes me kind of lost, like why there's even this infrastructure here about, trying to learn about the zombie plague when there doesn't really seem to be a lot of supplemental material backing it up, which is lame. The gameplay in that mode is basically an extension of Warzone, but because you're not killing a bunch of fucking 12-year-olds on Adderall and you're killing zombies and you're playing with players if you want to, or you can just fuck off on your own, it's really fucking fun. This is like the definition of I put on a fucking album and just go to town. Like, this is actually good mindless fun for me, and I don't usually like that too much. PvP is a little too sweaty for like having sound off. I usually need headphones for that. This, I'm pretty okay just popping on a podcast or whatever, getting caught up on YouTube videos. The sound helps, but it's not super necessary. There are also enemy mercenaries throughout the levels. They have strongholds and stuff. They're just non-player entities. They're fine. The AI is not great, but it's not horrible either. Same thing with the zombies. They're fine. There's some like weird mutant zombies as like mini bosses. They're fine. I don't love them. I don't hate them. They're just kind of weird. They're very magic-y, and I'm not sure what's going on with that. Whatever. The cool thing that I liked is all of your progression carries over between multiplayer, zombies, and Warzone. So they worked on this in Modern Warfare 2, but I think it works a lot better here. So I can say there's a certain LMG that is a locked item. You have to either buy it, it's in a battle pass, or whatever. But if I randomly find it while playing zombies, I pick it up from a dead player, or I get it out of a mystery box, you can keep it. If you die, you'll fucking lose it, but you can keep that. And if you successfully exfil, based on how far through the story you've progressed, you can also keep limited edition items as I don't remember what they call it. Basically, it's like a save spot. You can it'll have a cooldown. You can't use it for another hour or whatever, but if you successfully exfil, you can save it in a spot where you can go back to for another round, which is nice. So it means that you can actually progress through all of those limited edition purchasable weapons without actually buying them, and I like that.
That's strange.
It's fucking cool. They don't then carry over into, like, the progression of that weapon will carry into multiplayer. You can't use it in multiplayer, but it does mean that it'll, like, fill out the progression. You'll get all the skins and all that stuff. And that really helped with this, because I played zombies, like, 3-4 times as much as I played multiplayer. Same thing with regular leveling and battle pass progression. It's the same exact system between both of them. So I hit 55, which is what prestige used to be. It's still kind of prestige. It's complicated, but whatever. So I hit like the first ceiling. So it was probably 20 hours of zombies, maybe 10 hours of multiplayer if I'm lucky. No, it's probably more like 30-10, and then about 10 in total for campaign.
I jumped into this for like a hot minute, which means like not very long, and multiplayer felt like super duper sweaty. It was not easy to jump into this one.
No, I needed zombies to kind of warm me up to it, and I think that helped. I don't know if it's just because my brain like was able to switch back into sweaty mode or something. I have no idea. It's definitely sweatier than 2. I can't tell you exactly why, because almost all of it's the same.
I'm gonna preface, it's not because I suck. I've been kicking ass in X Defiant, like having a blast. But Modern Warfare 3 just kicked my ass.
Yeah, I'm still usually around like 1-1.
I did not like. Yeah. I don't know. I don't even know why, but it just felt like super sweaty.
Yeah. Tech wise, I have very little issues with multiplayer or campaign. Everything loads in fine. There's very little pop in. In zombies, every once in a while, I'll get into a round where clearly a bunch of people in the group of like 10 or 15 people that load in that have a really bad connection, so there can be some serious rubber banding problems, but most rounds still go through pretty well, and considering it is a PvE mode, I'm a lot less salty about it. when you have rubber banding when playing PvP on a sweaty game, it's infuriating. But when you're shooting zombies who are walking slowly towards you, it's annoying because it'll fuck up your game. But after
it doesn't really matter.
No, but like even
unless they're getting downed like all the time, and it's like, bro, go reset your router and come back.
Yeah, right. And you know, it is more difficult when you're playing with those players. But even like you can just tell, even if you're in a crew by yourself, if the other 19 people on the fucking server are bad, like you can tell. But you basically learn how to lead your shots in a way where it doesn't matter. It sounds dumb. I just kind of adapted to it. It just didn't bug me that much. If you have like 4 or 5 rounds of that in a row, it's really annoying, but whatever. Swinging back around to campaign, there are about half the levels that are open-ended, large-scale Warzone-esque, and they're not shit. I like them this time around. Modern Warfare 2's were not very good. I tried really hard to defend them. They weren't that great. Here,
there was really, really, really bad pop-in with Modern Warfare 2.
It was bad.
Just like draw distance and whatever. It was bad.
It was pretty rough. These ones are not mind-blowing by any means. They're still very silly, I guess.
They're functional.
They are very functional. You'll have it's like the 3rd level, I think, is the first one. That's a big open space. You'll load in. There are like 30 collectible weapons and like armaments that you can collect while you're going around. There's a bunch of different chests and shit. There's achievements for that, of course, blah blah blah. The enemies react fine. It's not Assassin's Creed level of shit AI, but it's not like mind-blowing. We're not talking Halo here, but it's okay. It's good enough. And then you, of course, have your like plate armor system, your parachute, ascender line, and stuff like that, which is all fine. I just like them. They are very time-consuming in comparison to the regular levels. When they're linear, it's like a 20-minute level. The open ones, if you want to collect everything, are like 2 hours. But it's good enough for me. I just didn't have much to complain about. Maybe I've become less picky, but maybe it's just because 2 kind of sullied the experience so much. This is not mind-blowing, and for the launch price of $50, it's a lot. But 2 points. 1, I got it for $15 off of eBay, which was a fucking steal.
Wicked.
So that's cool. So I'm very happy with the amount of money I had to pay for this.
Wait, what did I get it for? Did you beat me on this one?
Yeah, I did.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, no,
I got it for a steal.
I was hunting hard for this, especially because I got such a shit reaction at first, and I was like, oh fuck yeah, let's go. I'm gonna get it real cheap. I was waiting for under 20, and that was 3 months after release, maybe. It was pretty fresh. And then pulling my pin out for my final point, if you combined Modern Warfare 2 and Modern Warfare 3, not just in terms of the campaigns are both short and the stories are a little unsatisfying with how much conclusion or wrap-up there is in each story, or that there isn't necessarily enough content for multiplayer, I just think as a whole, it would, if you sold me, if Call of Duty wants to go up to its new $70 price tag, which is what every new game is pushing for across the board, which I'm fine with for the most part, but if I'm gonna buy a game for $70 launch day, if you told me it has, if it just smush like 12 hours of campaign, another like 30 multiplayer maps, which is a mix of new, old, and remakes, 2 different types of you have your co-op raids, and then you have all the Warzone stuff, and you have the open world zombies mode, that would be a fucking killer. And that's just why it's frustrating more than anything else. Is I'm actually pretty pleased with it. It's not the best COD game, but it's pretty good, especially for how inconsistent the last like 8 years have been. But holy fuck, if you just smush these 2 damn games together, I would be screaming about how good it is.
That's an easy $70.
For sure. And it's just really disappointing that they milked it. Like COD always milks it, but this is probably the most milked purchase, where it's like this was barely a full game, and the game it attaches onto was also pretty small and barely functional. So it's very frustrating.
Especially after 2019 kicked ass so hard.
Yeah. Fuck, if all 3 of those were shoved in a pot, oh my gosh, I'd pay like $300 for that. I don't even fucking care. I would pay more for it because I know I'm getting a big ass good experience.
I was gonna say $150, but okay.
I think $150 would actually be reasonable.
Yes.
I was kind of being hyperbolic, but you get my gist. Like, I would be okay with that because I know what I'm getting into. They're almost certainly going to make a 4th game. I'm pretty confident, just based on where the story leaves off. I haven't played the like follow-up mission stuff yet because they're kind of hard to sort out. It's complicated. The launch cycle, the live service cycle for this has been fine. The battle pass stuff seems to be doing fine. It's nothing amazing, but it's not like the worst. We're not talking like modern. We're not talking about like World War II levels of loot box bullshit. Like, the internet doesn't hate this game that much. So I'm thinking in a couple of years we're probably gonna get a Modern Warfare 4.
Am I really stupid? Did I miss your OG Modern Warfare 3 review?
Nope, I haven't done it.
Oh.
Because the reason why I didn't was because I was hoping, because there was a lot of rumors that they were going to remaster Modern Warfare 3 as well.
Oh.
And then it came out that they're just making Modern Warfare 3, and I was like, well, fuck.
Gotcha.
If they did both, I would pay $70 for that. If it wasn't like a garbage remake. Like, if they smush, I would buy that. I would still buy that. So that's what I was hoping for, because I did 1 and 2 doing both versions.
Yeah. Right. Okay.
Maybe they'll do it as like post-launch content. Unlikely, but they could. It seemed to be pretty legitimate sources that were like, they definitely have been working on it. So it's kind of weird that they didn't.
Right.
Solid buy. I'm okay keeping it installed. That's a lot, especially for how big the damn game is.
Yeah.
It's a quarter of my hard drive, but I'm still having fun with it. I don't feel like I'm burning a hole in either my pocket or like my time. I'm still getting a lot of time value out of it. I still feel satisfied. So solid. We're so.
You know who else is satisfied?
It's a step above Modern Warfare 2, but it's still like a step and a half down from 2019. Good spot.